Hi there, I'm Nancy from Black Sheep Knitting here in Needham, Massachusetts. We're a local yarn shop and we have an online store and we have in-store hours, but masks are required, so make sure you bring along a mask when you come visit us. The other day I started fooling around with knitting two yarns together. There are a lot of patterns out there now that ask for you to put mohair or fingering with a mohair with a worsted, mohair with a DK. So I thought I would show you what happens when you put mohair with something. So the first one I'm going to show you is, this is a mohair, and it's a mohair that's supposed to be, mohair's tricky because you can knit it on lots of different size needles depending on what you want. This is the bottom of this, and I hope you can see it. If it's behind something that you can see the difference. I don't know if you can see. But the bottom is knit on a 7, and it's the mohair held singly. Then the top, I doubled the mohair, which ended up pushing me up a half a stitch per inch. So that can be significant. I like this fabric better, and I can tell you it was a whole lot easier to knit this mohair doubled instead of singly. This is a little trickier, though you do get used to knitting with it, but it's so fine. But it is great for something lacy, or a lacy scarf for the summer, shawl for the summer. And even this, the doubled one, and it's quite soft. This, I believe, is Lang Luxe mohair, or it could be Kid Silkase. I'm not sure. There's not huge amounts of difference between them. We really like, although, I did do one with the Isair Kid Silk, or silk mohair, and it has some silk in it. I then took this mohair again, and I put it with, this is the Isair silk mohair, which is just beautiful and very, very soft. But I took this mohair again and put it with a fingering. This is the Barocco Ultra Wool Fine. It's a fingering weight. And here it is just at the top, single. And then down here I put the color with it, the mohair, and I get this marled effect, and I get again about a half a stitch more per inch. Depending on, these are all knit on a size 7 needle. So you can knit, this is like 6 stitches to the inch up here. You can knit a fingering weight on a size 7 or a 6 needle, depending what you want. This is also a really nice fabric for a summer tea. But here again, I added the mohair, and it makes it so much softer. Not that this is lovely, but this is just yummy. And this is what it looks like on the back side. But this is a stockinette, and so it creates a marled effect. Now you could use, if you used a white mohair, it would stay the same, but you can see how if you use a color, it kind of takes over and changes it quite a bit. So if you've got some white hanging around and you've got a lot of white, you don't know what to do with it, you don't particularly like light, take a white, you can take a mohair and put it with it. Then here's another one. I took the Ultra Wool Fine white, and I took this gorgeous teal color, and I put them together again on a size 7 needle, and I've gotten a marl. Now you can see how a marl can sometimes pool, but on, if you're doing a sweater, you'll see that in a lot of places. Doesn't bother me. I think it adds a little interest. And again, this bumped up my gauge from 6 to the inch to, I think it was about 5, closer to 5 to the inch. Then I took a striping yarn. This is from, this is Topaz from Barocco, and I knit it with, again, my teal colored mohair, and here it is on the top, and then the bottom is this striped yarn by itself. It changed it a little bit. You can't see a huge change in color, but this of course stripes, so it's a little bit different. But the texture changed dramatically, and the gauge changed. This one may have even changed almost one stitch, one full stitch per inch. Now, given that I knit these all on the same needle, were I doing a sweater or something, I probably, if I'm adding mohair to it, I'm going to bump up a needle size probably, which would then make this gauge, where the two are knit together, different. So I would get fewer stitches per inch because it would be heavier, which is something to remember if you've got a yarn that you really love and it's too thin for what you want to do. You can find a mohair the same color, add it, and what you get is this halo. That you get a thicker yarn, fewer stitches per inch, and you get this lovely halo. So there are a lot of, if any of you follow Petite Knits, she puts a lot of mohair with her other yarns. And so everything has this lovely halo to it. I then tried, this is felted tweed DK, so it's a DK, and I put it with my mohair. And what you can see, maybe not as easily, maybe you can see it, I'm not sure, but this really took on the darker tone of this mohair, and it of course changed the gauge and again made this much softer. So you can see right here is where I changed. Here I did the felted tweed by itself, and here I added the mohair, and this is much softer. And again, this went up about a half a stitch per inch, which can be significant in in a whole garment that you're making. So you don't want to be off by too much. Then, did I show the marled? Yes. Did I show this marled? And then finally, I took, this was another Isayer yarn that we had, I think, in the shop, or I bought it somewhere. And this is a worsted weight, 4.5 to the inch. And it doesn't bother me, but I know a lot of people prefer to knit with what, they would call soft yarns. This is more of a rustic yarn, and for an outdoors, a sweater you're going to wear outdoors, or a big something you want that's nice and warm, this is a beautiful alternative. So what I did was I took an Isayer mohair, this mohair, silk mohair, and I knit it together with this. Well, this, you can see it changed the color quite a bit by adding this light mohair that was different from it, but still had some of this color in the yarn. So here it is at 4.5 to the inch above here by itself, and then with the mohair on the same size needle, I got 5 to the inch. Now, I might even, if I were decided to use this, I might take my needle size to an 8 or a 9 to have a softer, would be an even softer fabric. But if I were making a nice jacket or coat type garment, I might want to knit it on this size 7 needle to get this sort of tighter knit effect, which would then make it a lot warmer. But I really loved what it did here, and I've got a sweater's worth of this yarn, so I think I'm going to go ahead and purchase some of this. And I think I'm going to sneeze, so hang on. We're just talking about allergies this coming up because the season's changing. In any case, this was a fun exercise. It didn't take me very long. And again, making gauge swatches is really a good thing to do because you really want to know how the fabric, these have been blocked slightly with steam. They haven't been put in water yet. And I might do that if I'm going to go. This one in particular, this really appeals to me, and I think I really would like to make a sweater out of this. So do swatches. Try knitting. If you've got a whole lot of yarn, the formula that I use, if I'm taking, this is the only formula I know for knitting 2 yarns together. If I'm taking 2 yarns of the same gauge, so suppose I have 2 worsted weight yarns that are 4.5 stitches per inch, I can add that number together. So 4.5 and 4.5 are 9. Then I divide by 3, and that means I would get probably 3 to the inch. That formula works for me. I'm assuming it would work for everybody. I don't know, I don't have a formula for 2 different, like a lace weight and a fingering weight together. And when you're knitting yarns together, or when you're knitting anything, you can knit, like everybody said, well, I don't want to knit on a fingering weight because I have to use a size 2. Well, you don't. This is on a size 7. And you can just decide, this is the fabric I like, and then you can look, make sure you have a pattern that asks for 6 or 7, I think this was 6 stitches to the inch. So you can use a, and particularly if you're knitting a scarf or something that doesn't have to fit, you can use any size needle you want to make any fabric that you want, as long as you like it. So that's it for little gauge swatches today. So go home, try it, or you're at home, obviously, if you're watching this, but try it. Fool around with what happens if you have a lot, I started to say earlier, if you have a whole lot of yarn and you don't know what to do with it. Try holding 2 strands of it together. See what your gauge is. You know, you can fool around with needle size. You can do, here I fooled around with the different yarns, but you can do a swatch like this and fool around with different needle sizes, and you can make it do as many needle sizes as you want. What you can do to make sure that you know what needle size you did, you do knit 2 together, yarn over for every, so say you did a size 5 needle, you would have 5 knit 2 together yarn overs across, which will give you 5 eyelet holes, and then you can count it and say, oh yeah, I used a 5 there, and then here you would do 6 if you want to do a 6. But you can change needle sizes and see how the fabric is for you. Wanted to show you a sample of something new we have in the shop, which is a little, we made for a little boy, but it could be a girl, little boy sweater, made in, and it's called Seaside Sweater by Petite Knits. After I picked out these yarns and sent it to the knitter, I realized it probably should have been for a little boy in blue with white stripes. So it'll be hard to keep a little fellow clean in this, but it's a lovely knit, very simple, and it's made in Barocco modern cotton. And a lot of people say, oh, I hate to knit on cotton. The thing is, a lot of people have a memory of the old, I'm blanking on the name of the cotton we used to have, but it's a mercerized cotton. And it has a little bit of a sheen and very little give to it, and people don't like knitting with it. This cotton is quite nice. Slightly stretchy, it has a wonderful twist to it. It doesn't seem to split, and it's super soft. So I recommend it. Throw it in the wash, and do they say they like you to lay it out flat to dry? I don't like to put any of my knitwear in the dryer because you know, you've worked so hard on it. You don't want it to get banged around in a dryer unless you're trying to full it or make it shrink a little, or if you have linen and you want to soften it up. Linen doesn't shrink, and so washing it and drying it can really soften it. So I'm showing you a few color choices. We have lots of colors. We just got a shipment in of more colors for spring, and I'm just showing color combos that might be nice. And here's another one. So these are nice colors. We've got red and lavender, and I think it only took about 4 skeins total, maybe less, now that I think about it. In any case, it's a beautiful little sweater, and can you imagine some little boy with sporting this going out to dinner or something, or going to a party with his family. So, and this is a size 3 to 4 year old. So, and the sizes go up to 7 to 8. So this is a good thing. And it starts at 6 to 9 months. So that's the pattern. Wanted to show you some other things. We have more of Fiola's project bags in the store. And there's one version with little birds that are so cute. Here's another one where she's switched the colors around. And then these have fun things inside. This one has a fabric with sheep inside. And they're drawstrings, so you just pull the ends. And they're beautifully sewn. She is quite a good seamstress, and she chooses fabulous colors. So again, this has the sheep inside, and this is a lovely fun thing you can have for spring. You can enjoy the fabrics. And last but not least are her accessory bags, and we've sold out of our first shipment of them, and she's busy, I think maybe as we speak, making more. So this one's got fun fabrics. So they all have really fun fabrics inside. I've used mine for, probably 4 or 5 years already now. I just love it. And I love how it sits and you can just open it easily and see what's inside. So that's that for things in the shop. And then I wanted to show you, we did a series of, I think I did 4 wet felting classes. And I'd like to offer some more. I have more supplies. And I wanted to show you, the other day we did another one, and while the other gals were working on theirs, I decided I've been doing some things that are kind of a pictorial, painterly kind of thing. And it's just so fun to do. This took me maybe a half an hour to do. And if you look, if you turn it over, you get another sort of painting on the side. What I have on the other side, what I haven't worked out yet is how I'm going to mount it on a wall. I want it as a wall hanging. So I have to work that part of this out. But it's an awful lot of fun to do. So keep looking out for a schedule. We'll have it out in a week or so of more classes that you can sign up for. You end up going home with that evening, and you have to join the class to figure out how to do this, but you will have a piece, either a scarf. I had it in mind too that I might make pillows for my living room, for my couch, but you'll have it finished that evening. So come in and take care of it. I did want to tell you what I was wearing. A lot of you asked about, and I'm just going to lift up this shawl. By the way, the pattern for this no longer exists. But this is the Sunshine Coast sweater. So if those of you who are wanting to know what it looks like, and I might, after wearing this today, I might bring it back to the shop and put it out for people to see. And you can do this in the Lang soft cotton. Is a beautiful, I think it's called soft cotton. is a beautiful yarn to do it, and we have others. We also have new colors of Sammy, which is a 100% Peruvian cotton that is as soft as can be. I'll show you some samples of colors that you could do this in. It's super soft, and this this yarn is just amazing. I threw it in the washer. I might have even thrown it in the dryer. I'm not sure. And it came out beautifully. And this is not like knitting with cotton at all. And it's has about 164 yards for $8. So it's a good, good value for your money. I just wanted to show you some colors of the mohair that we have in stock. This is a really bright, deep turquoise and a beautiful blue. This is a Kid Silk Haze. This one is Ariel, which is from Barocco. We also have, this one's fun because it's variegated, and you can, I think maybe it's stripes, but if you put that with another solid, it'd be really fun. And this is the Ariel. This doesn't really shed, this Ariel. It's silk and mohair, which is what the others are, but they've somehow in their manufacturing, they've made it so it sheds less than these others. And this is also another color in the Ariel. So those are some fun things. Another thing to look forward to is I think we'll be doing toe-up magic loop socks again. And don't forget on Fridays, although I'm not sure if it's going to happen next Friday because I'm going to be out of town, but on Friday afternoons we have a sit and knit. We were asking people to come in if they had unfinished projects, particularly socks or mittens, but people have been coming with anything, and I'll be sitting here knitting and you can knit with me, and I will answer a question or two. It's not an opportunity for me to teach you, except if you're stuck on something. So I'm happy to help you fix any problems that you have, and just if you make a habit of coming in Friday at 3 o'clock, before you know it, you'll finish your projects, because it's a dedicated time. You turn off your phone, nobody can call you and get in touch with you, and you can just sit for an hour, 2 hours, however long you want to stay. So today, we're filming on a Friday, and it's amazing how warm and lovely it is outside. So let's hope this is a harbinger of spring, and that we'll not see any more of that dreadful snow. So happy knitting, and we'll see you next time.